All right. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to the OSG. I hope you're keeping well. I have the day off work today, so even though the match against Manchester City is on Sunday, I'm going to do a preview this evening as I have the time because I'm working tomorrow evening. I'm working Sunday evening, so I'm going to do a preview of the game now. Maybe another one tomorrow. All right, Manny, right on time, bye. You know what I mean? I aim to impress. I'm a man of my word, Manny. You know me. I'm a man of my word. I do my thing. You know what I mean? How are you keeping anyway, man? Are you good? I hope you're keeping well. What do you think about I know you're not the biggest fan of Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, but what do you think of David Raya replacing him? And do you think Raya is going to play against City? Raya is definitely much better at his distribution, and he's much better at taking the ball from there. Thank God it's Friday. Well, I'm actually off today, but I'm working. I'm working Saturday, Sunday, but then I have Monday and Tuesday off at the moment, so can't be bad. I got a lot of work done actually today. Now at home, I'm preparing to leave the UK in February to go back to Switzerland. You know what I mean? So I was just looking through all the stuff I have here, what I need and what I don't need. You know what I mean? And I threw like 3 bags full of just stuff I had accumulated over the last couple of years. So yeah, I made most of the day, you know. I should have done it a long time ago, but there you go. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, man, I was off today, so like I said, it's all good. I'm working Saturday, Sunday. I needed today off, to be honest. I just need it. I hope you're keeping well anyway, man. I hope you're good. All right, guys, like I was saying, we have a massive clash on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. at the Emirates, okay? Game is Sunday afternoon, guys. A must-win game, a real 6-pointer, a massive clash lies ahead for us. It's not going to be easy. I'm just going to start as always by thanking everybody for your continued support on my channel, your likes, your subscribes, and your comments. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all for your kindness. Yeah? I appreciate it. Let me just put the link in the message bar for later on in case anybody wants to come and join in my stream. There we go. All right, guys. Anybody wants to join the stream, there's the link. Raya is a bit of an improvement for now, but I think he'll start on Sunday. But hopefully this will be the making of Ramsdale as a player and a person. Yeah, and he looks like he's supporting the squad as well. You know what I mean? Like when he's been on the bench and when Raya has done something good and pulled off a great save, he's been supportive. You know what I mean? And he's not just putting that on for show. Ramsdale is a team player. You know what I mean? And as soon as he joined the club, I know you're not the biggest fan of him, but as soon as he joined the club, he was a step up on Burnt Leno. He was an improvement on Burnt Leno. I know he maybe not what everybody wants, maybe not the finished article, but he was a big improvement on Burnt Leno. I mean, you know what I mean? His communication with the rest of the team, the camaraderie, you know what I mean? It was good. It was good. You know what I mean? But yeah, Raya seems to be more, a bit more competent, especially under the high ball. He's more comfortable. His distribution is better. I was surprised the way he went in at number 1, you know, that he just took Ramsdale's place like that. I have to say I was surprised. There's a lot going on in football right now. You shouldn't take your eye off the ball, pardon the pun, but there was a lot going on. I have to say, there was a lot of stuff going on in the background. Which we're going to get into it now, guys. I'm going to have a look at 1 second. Mm-hmm. One second there, guys. Bear with me. All right. So, here he is. All right, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Been a long time, and good to catch up with you. I actually do have a stream with RS Talks Football in about an hour or so for now, but I do have a bit of free time, so I thought
thanks very much.
Just check you out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just thought I was going to sort of listen to what you had to say and then maybe do something else. But listen, I'm glad to hop on for now, and if anybody wants to come in and have a little bit of a chat after me or a little bit later, I'll be happy to let that person have his time. So Yeah, and I want to say first of all that it will be a bit of a shame to see you leave the UK to go back to Switzerland, because I'll tell you something, Dave. I was actually looking forward, once I got back to the UK, to catching up with you over a Guinness or two and maybe chatting about football and life or what have you. But obviously, I think you probably feel that your time in the UK might be coming to an end. It was just, a chapter that had to be over and done with, and it's time to sort of do what you have to do to find some contentment and peace, and
Yeah,
just
it wasn't an easy
refresh yourself, I
decision.
guess.
It wasn't an easy decision to make, I'll be honest. I only came here in the first place because my wife couldn't make a life for herself in Switzerland. She was very, very unhappy. Now she is my ex-wife, of course, unfortunately, yeah? And the last year for me has been, needless to say, a struggle. I've been on a journey, like a lot of people, I think, in life. And when something like this comes along, look, I was in Switzerland for 10 years. I made a life there. I made it my home, and I went back there recently. And when I got there, I just felt like I felt at peace. I felt at home. And then I knew, you know what I mean? I have some very good friends over there, but of course, I have some good friends here too in London, and people in work have been very supportive of me. Um, it's not cast in stone as yet, but look, I'm thinking February to go back. I mean, obviously, it is going to be a challenge. I'm going to have to start from zero again. Obviously, I know people over there. I have friends there, but still, I'm a little bit apprehensive because I'm not at my strongest at the moment. What I'm going through. I'm not the most, and I'm not as young as I used to be, Manny. When you're young,
Yeah, listen.
fearless, you feel like you can beat the world. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's not so. But I'm looking forward to going back and seeing what life holds for me. You take your chances in life. It is what it is. Like Aaron Ramsdale, you take your chances in life, guys. Maybe he'll get the number one
Yeah, I
spot.
get that.
But I'll be back,
Yeah,
Manny. If you're in the UK, I'll come back from Switzerland and we can meet up. I will come back, yeah.
yeah. I mean, just if you can come back for a holiday, that's fine. But listen, don't do it if it's
Yeah,
gonna if it's gonna be, an impediment to your schedule or what have
not
you.
a
But
problem, man. Not a
yeah.
problem.
Anyway, like before we go into football, I'll just wrap this up by saying, whatever you decide to do, I wish you nothing but the best. And you got to
Thanks,
do
man.
what makes you happy. We've all got to do what makes ourselves and each other happy. And that's the way life is. And we move on, and we go about our lives. But back to the football.
Thanks,
Um,
yeah. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
y-
it. Your kind words.
you're welcome. It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all good. But yeah, obviously the news about Saka being in contention to play, it doesn't fill me with confidence, because knowing Arteta as well as we both do, if he thinks that there is a chance that Saka will be fit, he will play him, and
Mm.
that angers me really. You probably watched the French debacle um, in midweek,
Yeah, I
on
did. I did.
Tuesday, and
Yeah.
the following day, I wonder if you had the pleasure of seeing another English team and another French team going up
Oh,
against
yeah,
one another. But
Newcastle. Yeah.
this time the English team came out well on top, and I was absolutely gobsmacked in a way. I mean, I knew that PSG were having a poor season this time around, with some of the
Mm.
players not really standing up to be counted. The Mbappe issue certainly didn't help, but I never thought for one moment that they'd be so poor, at least especially defensively, that they'd concede 4 goals like that.
Mm.
I think Gigi Donnarumma has pretty much peaked as a goalkeeper. If there's one goalkeeper I rate even less than Ramsdale, it's him. And how that guy ever got to become a European champion, I will
Yeah, I
never ever
know.
know. But
He's just
you
big.
know,
There's nothing else.
I agree. He doesn't move very well for a big
No,
fella, unlike a certain Argentinian who's a lot leaner and slimmer and a lot more fitter than he is. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. He used to
I
play for us,
do.
by the way.
I do.
And I mean, of course, Donnarumma wasn't the only player who underperformed. I think Marquinhos had a terrible game, and Mbappe was cutting a very frustrated figure.
Yeah.
Dembele was certainly trying his best, and before Newcastle scored their first goal, he had a chance with his left foot on the volley, which
Mm.
went a little bit away from Nick Pope. And most of their more vaunted players, including the 3 Frenchmen who were starters for the France team that in the final of the World Cup, I think the team just never got going, and there was no real cohesion. Maybe there were a few injuries, but Luis Enrique is also proving himself to be as bad a manager as Arteta, if not worse. And back to Lens against Arsenal, we started well, but we ran out of steam. And
Mm.
if you take a look carefully, Dave, once again, we seem to be playing this ridiculous formation of a 4-3-3 just to accommodate passengers like Kai Havertz and Eddie Nketiah. If we were to go back to the 4-2-3-1, where we'd have the midfield double pivot between the defense and the attacking midfielders,
Mm.
that was actually the formation where we played our best football. And yet, Arteta doesn't want to go back to that. He's trying some other ridiculous things to sort of make things work, tinkering around. I mean, is he Claudio Ranieri Mark II? And
He might be.
the worst part is as well, even if Saka were to start, we never won any of our games against City in the league with Saka starting, so his presence or absence will make no difference.
Mm.
But what's really galling is that a lot of people say that Reece Nelson is absolute quality. He hasn't really done very much. I know he scored against Brentford in the League Cup this season. He has had a few chances. He did score against Bournemouth, but he hasn't really done very much. And then, of course, one player who, of course, has tried to do well, and I think has actually looked good whenever he's come on, whenever he's played, Emile Smith-Rowe. And yet he's actually one of the few players in that squad whose future is the most uncertain. It's horrible.
Yeah, he's getting no game time, Emile Smith-Rowe. I mean, you made a lot of good points there, but Arsenal, the match, I did a watch along of that game, yeah, and I was joined by Stapes. He used to be on the Three Pointers TV channel. We watched the game. I mean, the thing that struck me about it is afterwards I found out that we actually have another away game in the Champions League. So our next Champions League game is not at home. We're away against Sevilla. They're better than Lens. I can't see us getting a win over there. I don't think we're going to come away with a point. They're better, yeah. They're better than Lens. So our next Champions League game
defending
is
Europa
away.
League champions. I know they started the. Yeah.
They're very good.
Oh
They're
god.
very
I
good,
mean, I
man.
had to change my internet connection. Yeah, I had to change my internet connection to a hotspot, and even now there's still some disturbance. I think your Wi-Fi might also be having some problems. But Sevilla are the defending European champions, and they have started this current La Liga season not too well. In fact, I mean, they seem to have recovered ever since Sergio Ramos came back to the team. But, conceding that late equaliser against PSV Eindhoven wasn't really good for them, although it did do us a favour, because if Sevilla had won that game, it would be Sevilla and Lens in the first two places, and we'd be in third. And that would have been a huge shock to the system. Now, for what it's worth, we're second. And so a lot of our fans still believe that we'll be able to qualify as long as we just do the bare minimum. And that's what angers me about our European affairs, because, look, last year we had PSV in our group, and they were a much stronger team then than they are now. Now, of course, they've lost Ibrahim Sangare and Xavi Simons and one or two other people.
Yeah.
If Saka's injured, play ESR at right wing. I think Emile Smith-Rowe, McManus, might be suited more to playing on the left, but if you can play on the right with Trossard on the left, I mean, that probably wouldn't be a bad shout. I just don't know necessarily if ESR would feel comfortable there. But with the Champions League, Dave, especially with our European things, we played last year in the Europa League. We had PSV in our group, and our record when we qualified top of the group was played 6, won 4, drew 1, and lost 1. And I think we drew our last game doing the bare minimum to make sure that we qualified as group winners. Although maybe I think that's what we did. But then, of course, it didn't do us very good because we lost in the next round to Sporting Lisbon. So it angers me so much how people can be so arrogant and puff out their chests saying, we should be doing big things in this tournament, and we are going to do big things in this tournament, but we just don't have the record for it. And even when we made the semi-finals of the Europa League, we lost to Unai Emery, and when his first full season, he took us to the final.
Yeah.
I want to see a trio of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in midfield. I hope Partey will play. Whenever Partey's played this season, Arteta started him at right back and asked him to come to the middle. I don't want to do that. My selection, as I mentioned on the Aussie Gooner stream, would be Raya in goal, Ben White at right back, Tomiyasu at left back, because Zinchenko just can't defend. Tomiyasu can play a role in trying to keep someone like a Phil Foden or Julian Alvarez at bay. I mean, actually, Alvarez plays at number 10. It might be Phil Foden who plays on the right now. So Tomiyasu can try and, cover him. Because if the prospects of Alexander Zinchenko coming up against him or anyone else who comes down the right and trying to, defend there, that doesn't fill me with any sort of confidence.
Leave us vulnerable. We'll be vulnerable. Wide open.
Absolutely. So that would be my back five. The double pivot of Rice and Partey. I know that Jorginho doesn't start these days. I think his stamina is not his best friend, but Jorginho can come on for either of them if one of them starts to show signs of breaking down due to injury. Then and then I want to sort of big up Big Mac McManus. I hope you don't mind if I call you that, mate. But
Big Mac is
the idea that you had, McManus. So the idea of having ESR on the right, and if you can have Trossard on the left and then Odegaard in the middle, that actually would be a good idea, because at least that way, you can have a lot more in terms of urgency and creativity, and that would be something that would put fear into the City defense. Because I tell you what, Ruben Diaz is still starting almost every game, but that fella's a liability. Scored an own goal against Wolves, for crying out loud. And then, of course, the lone striker would be Gabby Jesus. When we played with two defensive midfielders and a lone striker, that was when we were playing our best football. But when Jesus got injured, we had to play the 4-3-3. And, Eddie Nketiah was accommodated that way. And we kind of lost a little bit of the edge, really. I mean, not that we're not doing well against some run-of-the-mill teams like Bournemouth or what have you, but when it comes to the bigger teams, we're just found wanting. Once again, now my hotspot's playing up with me.
I can still hear you, but the picture's after freezing. I'll wait, it's coming back maybe. Okay, I'm sure Manny will be back in 1 second, guys. He's having Wi-Fi issues on his end, I think. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be back in 1 second. Comment from McManus. I just think all we have is Nelson, and if I'm honest, I think ESR would be better in that position. Let me ask you this straight out, yeah, McManus. Do you think we can win? I mean, straight up, do you think we can beat them on Sunday? Straight up, on the money, yes or no? Do you think we can beat them? All right, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, man.
I make all these preparations, Dave, to make sure that this ridiculous doesn't happen. I changed my connection from a broadband to a hotspot, and I still have to put up with this rubbish. But look, it is what it is. And
my time in Venezuela, so frustrating.
Oh yeah, Wi-Fi issues.
They have nothing.
What can you do, man? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? But anyway, as I said, when we were playing the 4-2-3-1, we were playing our best football, but then Jesus got injured and we had to use the 4-3-3 just to accommodate Eddie Nketiah. And even though that formation does work well against middle-of-the-road teams like Bournemouth or what have you, against the bigger teams, for the most part, we're found wanting. So I really don't have any confidence in us doing anything of note against Manchester City. And people have been talking about the absence of Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri, among a few others. But they're still going to put out a strong team that will be focused and hungry and determined to, give us another slapping. Of course, when we went to the Etihad last...
Pep? Come on, he's better coach.
Maybe marginally. Yeah, look, he's won a great deal of stuff. He has had the players with which to, execute his tactics as well. But
he is better.
Look, but we all know that when we went to the Etihad, we were still, I think, ahead in the league, and we knew that we needed to win to end their title challenge, but we ended up getting slapped. Big Mac has said it. We haven't done enough in the transfer window to get to City's level. Haven't addressed key areas, and we keep raiding Chelsea's reject bin. I love it. I love the way he praised that. Urian Timber would have been a fine signing as a right back, and normally, if Arteta had any sense, he'd play him as a right back instead of having this ridiculous inverted nonsense. I can accept the fact that maybe Tierney had to go, because no matter how well he would do, he would just never find himself in Arteta's favour. And it was just, heartbreaking how he faded away from being a potential Arsenal captain to now being completely on the fringes. He started wonderfully in Spain, but then has since sustained another injury. But I think Sociedad will qualify for the next stage, and I am looking forward to seeing how well Tierney plays, because on his day and at his best, he's a beautiful, beautiful player. And any coach worth his salt would literally give their back teeth, their right teeth, to have a guy like Tierney and make him their starting left back. I know injuries have been a bit of a problem, but then injuries can happen to any player at any time. And even Zinchenko's gotten injured. It's just boiled down to the fact that now that Arteta's got his shiny new toys, who can play in his perverted system, as I'd like to call it, he doesn't have any use for Tierney anymore. And the same way he got rid of many of the other players who helped him win his only trophy, he's just phased out almost everyone. And now he's trying to change the culture and build something wonderful. And how many trophies have we won since?
Project.
Sweet bugger all.
Yeah.
Sweet bugger all.
It's phase 2.
Yeah.
We're in phase 2 now, right? Phase 2 of the pro. Phase 2. Official.
Yeah, I guess so. For me, I thought that season when he throws Aubameyang out, that would be phase 1. And then last season was phase 2. This would be phase 3. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh my days. But
I'm back. I think they've regressed back.
It is what it is.
Not finished. Phase 2 wasn't
We have regressed back. We have. Yeah. And it was also interesting to hear Kyle Walsh saying on the Aussie Gooners stream that if we don't win anything, Arteta himself might resign. Because I'm sure you might remember, Dave, that last season he, said that he was considering resigning because he didn't think he was up to the job.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people would have been hoodwinked into believing that he was, being candid and honest and really showing how much he cared about the job. But then several people, big up to the likes of Darren Sullivan and Warren Bartholomew and a few others who are obviously much older than us and who've been around the block long enough to know the score. I mean, you can't serve them rubbish and call it a roast dinner. And they would say they were saying, why would Arteta say something as stupid as that if he didn't really think he was good enough? And he can't not know that he was hired by Arsenal as an absolute novice who had no managerial experience at all. So if he fails, I would like to see him resign. And there is a part of me that thinks, Dave, that sooner or later the Arsenal fans are going to realize that the emperor has no clothes. And they're going to say flat out that, look, we've backed this process a great deal and we've been very patient. But when we see performances and continued failure, we just can't hack it. And the fact that he's more than willing to run the likes of Saka into the ground and basically give ESR, the short end of the stick, and a few others as well. The big worry is that some of these people are so in cahoots with Arteta, and they've literally bought into the process that they will happily take Arteta's side over the players. Unai Emery got sacked for less, spot on. And of course, a lot of people are going to say that in the second season, and I'll say this right now, in Unai Emery's second season, when he was sacked, results weren't good. And because there was no real sign of things improving, and because there were some players who were starting to flex their muscles a little bit, the team's fortunes tanked, and there was no real sign that things would improve, so he had to go. But obviously, he beat us in the Europa League semi-final the following season, en route to winning that trophy with Villarreal. And what he's done with Aston Villa this season, what I like about him, Dave, is that he seems to have started to correct some of the mistakes that plagued his first season, because he got Aston Villa playing some really good football, but then he started to get a bit too defensive in certain games, and that cost them a few points. And those points, mind you, would have made a big difference between playing in the Conference League, where they are now, and possibly playing in the Europa League, or maybe even the Champions League. But given that they were close to relegation under Steven Gerrard, you can see just how brilliant a coach Unai Emery is for taking them from those low depths to that sort of a height. And he should have been up there for being manager of the month. And when we play against them, I'm a little bit worried. I'm worried as to what sort of a game plan Emery might possibly have against us. And there is a part of me that thinks that for all this time we were, every time we'd beat Aston Villa, we'd slag them off and say, you're not in our league. We'd slag off Emi Martinez by saying, you'll never compare to Aaron Ramsdale. But one of these days, seeing how well they're playing, the fluidity with which they're playing, the way they smacked Brighton all around the pitch.
Watkins is back on it, man.
What do you say?
Ollie Watkins is back at it. I mean, it's a cause for concern. It's a cause for concern.
Yeah, and well done to him for being selected for the England squad. So we're going to have to take a look at some of their players' weaknesses and see if we can't get at them. Boubacar Kamara has also definitely improved. Last season, I thought his ball handling was a little bit sloppy at times. And of course, they've got Super John McGinn running the midfield, Ollie Watkins, and
got a good goal yesterday, man. McGinn, he got a good goal yesterday.
Yeah, yep, and it was a typical European game, very niggly against those sort of opponents, and they have to be patient.
Good, yeah.
So they're evolving as a team. You can see the evolution, and Emery's not afraid to change his tactics if they're not really working, and also admit whenever he goes wrong. And that's the hallmark of a fine manager. And a wonderful stat from Guna Forever: West Brom, Norwich, Stoke City, Middlesbrough, and Huddersfield Town have all taken points away from Manchester City in the Premier League more recently than Arsenal. And those teams are, of course, not in the Premier League right now. So what a brilliant, brilliant point that is. Yeah. Oh, boy. I wonder what it is about Arsenal which makes Manchester City raise its game. I think they see themselves, wanting to slap us up and show everyone what a poor team we are. And then before that, they try to praise us and butter us up, saying we're a really good team.
Be friends.
Those guys are absolute gaslighters, man. Seriously.
Yeah, they are. But let me ask you this: do you think they're going to beat us on Sunday? Straight up, your answer. What do you think? Yes or no? Do you think they're going to beat us?
No, I don't think they're going to beat us. I know they're going to beat us, and that's why the best I'm hoping for, Dave, is a tight 2-1 defeat where we hold our own and try and stem the tide. It just won't be enough, and we're also going to be found wanting in certain areas, because if we play an unfit Saka, who simply isn't anywhere near the levels that he has shown over the years, then we're in trouble. We're in absolute trouble. We cannot simply hope to play him if he's simply not fit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's going to have a real negative effect on our performance if he's not fully fit. Yeah, I mean, it'll be like we're one man down. I mean, the game I saw against Lens, when he went off, okay, he went off injured, but they rushed him back. I think he wasn't fully fit for the game. Now they're after making the problem even worse and compounding the problem. But when he went off, there was a definite drop in what we were doing on the field. I mean, you could see the levels dropped when he went off. When he went off, the levels dropped. Now, Lawrence were up for it. Yeah? They were motivated. They were disciplined. They were very quick on the counter. They were great in possession. They were playing 5 at the back when they didn't have the ball. Well, as soon as they got the ball, they pushed the wing-backs forward. They overloaded us in the midfield. But what I saw of it, when he went off, we were in trouble. But if he's not fully fit, there's no point playing him. I agree with you. I mean, we have a couple of guys that haven't played in a while. Emile Smith-Rowe being one. He's champing at the bit. Jorginho has made a couple of mistakes recently. I'll admit that. Like against Spurs when he gave the ball away. A little bit careless. But he tends to rise to the occasions. And honestly, I would give Jorginho a shout. Even if he just comes on as a sub. I have a little bit of faith in him, actually. He's all right. He's a good enough player. He's a good enough player, man.
As I've said, I'd like to see Georgie come off the bench to replace either Rice or Partey if they start to tire a little bit. But look, we also do need to consider the fact that Georgie didn't get too many minutes in the season, and then when he was brought on along with Havertz for Rice and I want to say Vieira that day, he hadn't had many minutes at all. But a guy of his experience and know-how should have known a little bit better. And yet,
Yeah.
that's just a consequence, really, because Arteta has this habit of freezing players out, not really giving them too many minutes, and then saying, you know what, I know you haven't played many minutes, but I'm going to throw you to the lions and see how you do. And then whenever they stuff up, it's a case of saying, you know what, you just aren't good enough. He did that to Kieran Tierney last season. And another manager who used to do that was a certain Rafael Benitez, who was tactically quite astute, but he was one of the worst man managers I'd ever seen, man. What he did to the likes of Jerzy Dudek at Liverpool was disgusting. He destroyed that poor fellow's career once he got his Spanish blue-eyed boy Pepe Reina in. And I rated Dudek at the time. Yes, he was prone to a few gaffers, but after that Champions League final win, he should have and could have kicked on. And I will say that it was his own fault for opting to stay at Liverpool because, he wanted to have the penny in the bun by proving to the fans that he was a great professional. He wanted to stay and, enjoy the memories of the Champions League final, and his family was well settled. But it ended up proving to be the worst decision he could make because since that final, he didn't play any. He hardly played any games. He lost his international career. He wasn't picked for the World Cup, and things just went downhill. So, as bad as Rafael Benitez was, he also tried to break up that 2005 team and build his own team, and he hardly achieved anything with that group of players. You can imagine, really, just one FA Cup, and that's effectively it. And so Arteta is in danger of becoming that sort of person. This is one I don't want to throw all Spanish managers under that bus and say that they're all bad man managers. Unai Emery has shown himself to be an excellent man manager who tries to do what's right for the team, but also does care about his players. But Arteta is basically proving that he can't man manage, and he doesn't know how to treat some of the better players in his team. He definitely doesn't like ambitious winners, and he's just building a group of yes men. That's all he's doing, and that's what makes me angry, and that's what makes a lot of other people angry.
Yeah, you made a lot of good points there. I mean, yeah, what can I say? Mikel Arteta. I mean, let me put it to you this way. So, you're talking about if he leaves or if he's sacked, but how long would you give Mikel Arteta in the job? This season, or would you give him 2 more seasons? I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, how long is fair enough? I mean, Unai Emery never got a proper crack at the whip. He is a better coach. I mean, how long do you think Arteta is going to get? How long would you give him?
At the end of the season, he will have had exactly 3 times as long as Emery will have had. Emery had 1.5 seasons with us, barely 1.5, I would say, because he was fired before December. And Arteta will have effectively had 4.5 seasons, which is exactly 3 times. This season should be his last. No excuses. And I don't even want to have the crumb of comfort of a League Cup win because, frankly, again, a triumph like that will just paper over the cracks. The FA Cup will also be no different, I'm afraid. I mean, in as much as we love the FA Cup, 14-time winners, we like to say that it's our competition in a way and puff out our chest. And yet he won the FA Cup and all that's done is kept him in the job and papered over whatever visible cracks he ended up, creating in the subsequent seasons. So again, just this season is his last chance. And if he has any shame or decency at the end of the season, if we fail to win anything, he will resign. Because some of the defeats that we've suffered under him, David, have been absolutely embarrassing. The Sporting Lisbon one, I was doing a watch along with a friend of mine. Shout out to Hanno Trollope of Hanno's Coach's Corner. And,
I watched that. I watched some of that.
I was doing it for the most part. He came on for the penalties, and I was trying. Good. He came on near the end, and I was trying to watch the penalties, and he wasn't. I wasn't seeing his reaction. And then while the penalties were going in, he was literally celebrating, and I wasn't able to watch him. And when I watched the whole thing on playback, he had the biggest smile on his face. He's a Chelsea fan, by the way. And that defeat really made me angry to my core, David.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was then that I told myself I really despise this guy as a manager. He has no clue, and I don't want to see him manage the club for much longer. And then I had a lot of people on a WhatsApp group tell me, "Mate, come on, you can't be serious. He's leading the team to one of the best league seasons you've ever had since the Invincibles in terms of points won and games won, and you should be very, very proud of that." I mean, pardon my German, but bugger all of that. It means nothing at the end of the day because we bottled everything. We didn't
Mm,
win the games we were supposed to win.
mm.
And any talk of comparing us to the 2004 Invincibles or even the 2002 and 1991 teams is absolute sacrilege, because all of those teams, any one of those teams, would smoke this current lot right now in terms of player ability and
Yeah,
quality of performances.
easily.
So yeah, so I don't want to see Arteta in the job for much longer, and yet we know that the board will go all out to make sure that they keep him, and they will try to entice him to stay.
Mm,
I think the only way that things will take a turn for the better is if they start taking a turn for the worse. If we fail to achieve anything, and our performances start to regress even further, the fans will start to see, the Emperor doesn't have any clothes. And mind
mm.
you, in his first full season, at one stage we were fiends. We couldn't even buy a home win. If that Theo Walcott goal against us at the Emirates had been the winning goal, I believe Arteta would have been sacked that day.
Yeah.
And how ironic would it have been that his ex teammate would have been the one to get him kicked out of that job?
That's it. It's funny the way it comes back to bite you, yeah. But all joking aside, I mean, last season, a lot of these Arsenal fans in the WhatsApp group that you said, they were asking you, come on, this is our best season finish in a long time. A lot of the teams last season, United, Liverpool, okay, Spurs to a lesser degree, they fell by the wayside. Chelsea, they had a bad season, and that elevated us. It wasn't just us, that elevated us. When it came to the crunch, when Man City started to turn on the style, look, it wasn't all about going to Anfield and getting the win. It wasn't all about going to the Etihad and getting the win. They're tough places to go. We had Southampton at home. The Bournemouth game, we were lucky to win that. Brighton stuffed us when they came to the Emirates. This is when we were going for the league, guys. They beat us 3-0. The Southampton game, we were lucky to get something out of that. What was the other game? There was Brighton beat us. We had Bournemouth. We had Southampton. Brentford. Ivan Toney ran riot. We were lucky to get something out of that game. So this season is the real one. It's going to tell us a lot because Newcastle are on it. My opinion, they're the second best team in the league right now. No joke. Only to City. Newcastle are playing fantastic football. The balance in the team. I mean, that result against PSG was coming because they won 8-0. Was it against Sheffield United? 8 different goal scorers. Isak is on fire. Fabian Schär is playing out of his skin. The goalkeeper, the whole team, the whole city of Newcastle is behind him. This season is going to tell a lot. Liverpool are back. United, okay, the least said about them, the better. But Newcastle, Man City, I mean, they're still the team to beat. And like you said, Manny, if we get, an FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or whatever, what we need is a sustained league challenge and to do something in the Champions League. We're miles away from that at the moment. I mean, look at the Lens game. That tells you all you need to know about where we are right now. I mean, we had Saliba on the field. Odegaard went missing, but Saliba was playing. Raya was in goal. Odegaard was playing. Saka was playing. For me, we're missing Martinelli big time. Look, every team gets injuries, but one player that I see that makes a real, like the goal against United, the equalizer for Odegaard, it was the run and the ball of Martinelli pulled across the box. Odegaard just had to hit it. We're really missing Martinelli right now. Really missing Martinelli. In my opinion, he's a player that we're really missing him, man. I mean, seriously, he does it. It looks like a simple thing when he does it, but he runs up the wing, he cuts back, and he pulls it right across the box, away from the defenders, in that little area where the midfielders can just come onto the ball. You've seen it against United. It looked easy, but trust me, it was excellent play from him. We're really missing him right now. And the Man City game, I fear for us. I really
Yeah,
do, because the quality that they have, John Stones, the way he played last season, if he plays that way again, Phil Foden's Haaland is going to have a field day, man. I'm telling you, Haaland is going to, if he gets one, he'll score 5. You know that. If you keep him quiet, it's all good. If Haaland gets a sniff of goal,
yeah.
we're seriously. and they're going to be going for it. They're going to be going for it. They're going to want to put us back in our place. Let us know, this is where you are. They're going to be gunning for it, man. Seriously, it's going to be an interesting game on Sunday.
It is, no doubt about it. And we're going to have to make sure that we're on our game. I remember, let's not forget that they lost to a Wolves team that played out of their skins. They played magnificently. But Gary O'Neill used the 3-4-3 formation, and I don't see us doing that. I mean, Arteta wanted to try something similar at the beginning, which is why he played Partey at right back and had the 3-4-3. But some of our performances were so, stodgy, and we were lucky to survive the Forest onslaught when we could have conceded an equaliser. We didn't win against Fulham. We ended up not winning against Spurs. And anger being hurt me. And interesting you talk about Martinelli, Dave. He's actually been criticised by a lot of people for some of his performances, but there's a part of me that thinks that he's also another player who's being played slightly out of position, being forced to the left, when he's also in some ways at his best when he plays as more of a centre forward. So he also could be someone who should be encouraged to play in his natural position. And I think when Arteta goes, a more sensible coach will see some of that and try to make sure that players play in their best possible positions.
Yeah.
I mean, Arteta lucked out with Ben White, converting him from a centre back to a right back, but what he's done with Zinchenko, it's completely mucked up our defense altogether. And I don't want to hear anyone try and defend that by saying, but with Zinchenko, doing that, it's made our midfield stronger. Our XG stats have been among the best in the country, and we're attacking so much and scoring more goals. Goals may win you games. Defenses win you championships.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that.
He's a liability at the back for sure. I mean, he's a weak link. He never covers. He doesn't read the game well. I mean, last season at Anfield, I don't know this was last season, but last season at Anfield, he was particularly culpable. You know what I mean? Ramsdale saved us. He pulled out a couple of top drawer saves at the end, got us a point. We came out of Anfield with something, but definitely Zinchenko against Liverpool. I mean, he's like you were talking about Kieran Tierney earlier. Tierney would come on. He's unspectacular. Tierney is the way I describe him. Unspectacular, but he doesn't need to be setting the world on fire. He's a solid defender. And Tierney is only getting better. Like Tierney with the Scottish national team. Scotland have a team right now. I mean, I don't know, do you pay any attention to Scotland or do you have time? I know you've got a lot of different things going on, but the Scottish team right now, the national side, like I'm Irish, they're light years ahead of us. Tierney was only going to improve because he's also playing at national level with a lot of very good players in a very good team. They have a team. You know what I mean? So, it's
Dave, listen, I watch international football almost religiously, and I see how well Tierney plays. I mean, that particular game against Spain where he literally skinned Danny Carvajal to provide the assist for Scott McTominay's goal against them was it was a thing of beauty and a joy forever, as Mary Poppins would say. It's just a shame that, you've heard of the phrase one man's rubbish is another man's riches, or one man's trash is another man's treasure.
One man's wine is another man's poison.
I think water might be more palatable given the alliteration there, man. But so it's sort of that's the way it is. That's the way it's sort of working with Tierney, and one only hopes that once Arteta leaves, we'll have a more sensible manager who, as I said, will take a look at the merits of the players in question and say, you know what, we need to make the best use of the tools we have. We've got some amazing tools which need to be used a lot better, and that's my responsibility as a manager. But as Warren himself would say, Arteta's arrogance will be, the downfall of the club, and that's and more's the pity, really, because we deserve better as fans. The club deserves better as an entity, and it sort of is what it is. And my prediction, as I said, it would be a lucky 2-1 defeat. If we do get something more out of that, I mean, it will be miraculous. And a lot of these people have said, Rodri being suspended and De Bruyne also being out injured means that we should have a field day against that lot. Well, you've just dug your own grave. If we don't get anything with those players you've mentioned injured, then that sums us up as a team and as an entity. And yet some of these Arteta supporters, for want of a nicer word, will continue to change the goalposts and say, no, we're still on the right track. It's ridiculous, man. It really is.
We don't have the
we're going to
killer
be
instinct in
we
front of
showed up.
goal as well. We don't have the killer instinct in front of goal to bother City to threaten them, I think. We just don't have that in front of goal right now. I mean, we're not going to put them under a lot of pressure. Their defense is going to be pretty much free to come forward with the ball. We're not going to keep them occupied. I can't see how, like, when they attack, they're going to commit fully to the attack because we don't have anything really to threaten them. I don't know. It's Martinelli's not playing. Gabby Jesus is not a bad player, but I mean, I honestly, not just because he's back playing well now, but I'm always talking about Ollie Watkins. I mean, I think he's a fantastic, fantastic player. I can't believe the last time that the England squad was picked, before this time, for the last game, Nketiah was picked, but Watkins wasn't. I mean, I just don't. Anyway, look, it's not me picking the England team, but I mean, to pick Nketiah over Ollie Watkins, and you're talking about Aston Villa. I mean, you seem really disenchanted with Mikel Arteta, Manny. Really disenchanted.
I've been disenchanted with the bugger ever since the Europa League exit to Sporting Lisbon, because that was an opportunity for us to try and, put our money where our mouths were and try and go far and see if we could win some European silverware. And of course, if you win the Europa League, you get the prize of Champions League football without having to sweat it. And then, of course, the reaction after losing that, saying, we got bigger fish to fry, we've got a league to win. We all know what happened then. And that is something which is enough to say, you know what, I'm almost done with him.
Ouch.
Let him have this season. Let him have enough rope with which to, do something dangerous. I don't want to specify because I don't want to get you demonetized, as it were. And then we'll sort of take it from there. But this game against City will define our season. If we lose being dominated by a team like City, which are going to be, slightly weakened in a way without the likes of De Bruyne and Rodri, that's our title challenge over.
Yeah,
Dave, listen, I'm going to have to.
No problem.
Yeah, so listen, I'm going to have to split because I've got a stream in 15 minutes. Yeah, Oris Talks Football. Listen, one of these days, if you do get some time, if you want to come on the channel and have a chin wag with us, by all means, go ahead. I'll send you a link. I'm a co-host there. You are more than welcome to come on, and we really appreciate you stopping by in the comments. And if anyone else wants to come on and just have a bit of a chin wag with you for a bit, just put the link out again. But I'm going to split. But it's been good talking to you.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, always, man. Listen, it's been good talking to you. You take care of yourself, and we will chat soon, definitely. But until then, up the Gunners, and you take care of yourself.
Thanks for coming on, man.
OSG, do subscribe to his chat. Yeah, do like and subscribe to Dave's channel. This guy's always a big part of, my YouTube credentials, as it were. He was the one who sort of got me connected with the likes of Del Boy and everyone else, and that's why this fella does have a place in my heart, no matter what. And thanks a lot for putting the link out. And if any of you who are watching want to come on and have a chat with him, the floor is all yours. I'm about to split. Cheers, everyone.
See you, Manny. Thank you, man. All right, guys, there you have it. Thanks a lot to Manny for coming along, joining the stream. Really, really appreciate it. Interesting, his thoughts, guys, and what he was saying about Mikel Arteta. I mean, he hit the nail on the head with a lot of the stuff he said. I have a lot of Arsenal fans come on my channel. Some agree, some don't. Everybody's opinions are respected. And Manny is entitled to his, like anybody else. Definitely some of the performances this season already have been a little bit. He'd give Manny said he would give Arteta maybe this season to do his thing. Yeah, you know what? We have to really go and win something. I mean, last season was really our chance, if you want to put it like that, to actually get something. Man City game is around the corner, and to be honest, they're making a lot of the weakness of City. No Rodri, no Kevin De Bruyne, no KDB. It's going to be 11 against 11 out there. I'm working on the day. I'm working on Sunday, so I can't do a watch along. I think that's probably for the best. So I think I'll be pulling my hair out. It is what it is. Can't play Saka if he's injured. Exactly. It just wouldn't make any sense. We'd only be making more problems for ourselves. And he's going to be out for longer than if he's injured. I mean, this is serious business, you know. The game against City is a massive, massive game for us. The thing I wanted to say to Manny, though, before he left, and I forgot to say it, was that Arteta has been playing Manchester City for a while now. You know what I mean? He knows what they're like. He knows the players they have. He knows how dangerous they can be. He knows their strengths and their weaknesses by now, surely. If ever there was a time to stand up and try to win one, it would be on Sunday. He knows their strengths and weaknesses. Look, Community Shield is Community Shield, guys. All right? This game is going to be fully, wholly, 100% competitive. All right? Community Shield is a bit of a warm-up to the season. Yeah, we won it. Big up, man. All right? But we need to beat them in the league. And they're coming to the Emirates on Sunday. And we need to lay down a marker and instill a bit of confidence in the team and show the fans what we can do. It's all to play for on Sunday. Pardon the pun, guys. All to play for. Samson could get up and down. Winterburn could get up and down. Cole could get up and down. Zinchenko can't get back in position. Yeah, Ashley Cole was a fantastic, fantastic player. A wonderful, wonderful player. Winterburn gave absolutely everything. Kenny Sampson the same. He gave absolutely everything. I mean, a lot of the fans on here, guys, probably haven't even heard of Sampson, I'd imagine. Kenny Sampson, guys. You know what I mean? Do your homework, yeah. But yeah, Ashley Cole, Winterburn. You know what I mean? Winterburn had the attitude and mental toughness. He was part of a great back four. You know what I mean? Lee Dixon, Adams, Keown. Before Keown, I think, was it Andy Linnigan was at the back? No, not Andy Linnigan. Who was the guy that played at the back with Tony Adams? Steve Bold. So we had Adams and Bold, Dixon and Winterburn. Then it became Keown, Adams, Dixon and Winterburn when Bold wasn't playing anymore. You know what I mean? But Ashley Cole, incredible player. Yeah, that's a fair point. But let me ask you this, guys, here. See, McManus already answered, okay, but Cooner forever. Do you think we can win on Sunday? Honestly, no. Yes or no? Do you think we can beat Manchester City? I mean, we're really lacking firepower right now. We don't have the firepower anywhere on the field. You know what I mean? It just seems to me that we just don't have the firepower. And that is a real cause of concern for us, a real cause of concern. Just 1 second, amigos. Let me check something. But yeah, thanks to Manny for coming on. Yeah, a real boost to my channel. Yes, I do think we can beat Man City on Sunday. I admire your confidence. I tell you, it's going to be a real battle. It's going to be a very, very hard game. Dave, what about you? Do you think we can beat City? Look, I'd like to think of our free-flowing football, Trossard causing problems, running riot in the midfield. Look, if we have Partey and Rice, if Saka's fully fit, we're going to need a bit of luck. We're going to need a bit of luck either way. Look, keeping Haaland quiet, keeping Foden quiet, regardless of Rodri or Kevin De Bruyne not playing. I don't know, but look, my heart tells me one thing, my head tells me another. I think City are too good for us right now. I think they've got too much quality. I mean, how good are lawns? That is the question, but they really put us to the sword a couple of days ago. I just think they've got too much in the tank for us, Manchester City. I think that everywhere that we're strong, every position where we are strong in the team, they are stronger. The loss of Martinelli, massive. If Saka's not fully fit, I just can't see where the goals are going to come from. And it's a team game. Of course, midfielders need to contribute, defenders. But as an attacking force, I just can't see where we're going to make that breakthrough against them. I mean, Martinelli is not going to play. I don't know. I just think that City are... yeah. But that's the problem. They're falling to Eddie Nketiah. The chances will fall to Nketiah. I mean, Jesus is not a bad player, yeah. He knows where the goal is. But Eddie is like the focal point of the attack. Havertz, I mean, I just think it's going to play into City's hands, to be honest. And like I said, no excuses from Arteta, because it doesn't matter that Rodri and KDB won't be playing. A lot of fans are saying, yeah, well, they're not going to be playing. We have a chance. But to be honest, City are a very strong outfit in the midfield either way. They have more players that can come in. They're a fantastic outfit. I mean, and like I said, where we're strong positionally, City are actually stronger in those areas. So I just can't see how we're going to cause them any problems at the back. I think it's going to be hard for us to make that breakthrough. I think they're a strong unit. I don't think we have that quality in the forwards to really, really stretch them. Like I said, Martinelli. Trossard is a very dangerous player. Yeah? Trossard tends to play well against City. He's worth a shout. You know what I mean? Because he's the one guy that actually tends to make them uncomfortable. It's his sheer speed when he's on the ball, and he's a tremendous goal scorer. But I don't know. I fear for us against City. The strength that they have in the team is just, you know what I mean? All right, let's look into some of it, guys. What's going on? Let's have a look here for a second. What's actually going on? Let's talk some football. I was just watching someone else's channel there. Let's talk some football. All right, Premier League. The clash against Manchester City is up and coming. Here we go. Arsenal Manchester City playing this Sunday, guys, at the Emirates Stadium, 4:30. Win probability, Arsenal 33%, Manchester City 39%, a draw 28. Currently, guys, Arsenal sit in third place, Manchester City are top. City have played 7, won 6, lost 1, 18 points. They won 4 of the last 5. Then come Tottenham on 17, then come Arsenal on 17. We played 7, won 5, drew 2. So we haven't lost so far this season now. Manchester City lost against Wolves, of course. But City have won 4 out of the last 5. We've won 3 out of the last 5. Lost 2. Drawn 2. So we've won 3, drawn 2 of the last 5. For people watching, welcome along, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. If you want to donate a little bit of money, please do. I'd appreciate that too. But most important thing, guys, knock some comments in the comment section for me. Yeah? Keep the comments going. I'd appreciate it. Keep adding those comments. We have to be solid at the back. No bozo jeans in our defence on Sunday, please. Yeah, once Jorginho doesn't play, it should be okay. Jorginho seems to be the guy that causes the problems at the back. But in fairness, Zinchenko as well, man, he needs to be on it. You know what I mean? All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that, yeah. Forgot to have the battery went, yeah. I didn't have the laptop plugged in. Dave, Jez Arsenal, the history and more than a brilliant stream of Kenny Ken League on a warranty talk longer did he about trolls and mental health awareness. Yeah. Do you mean Gabrielle? Burton Albion versus Northampton Town, Saturday, 11th November 2003, 3 p.m. kickoff, goes 60 Stadium, got the tickets. Ah, yeah. Enjoy the game, yeah. And thank you for that comment, yeah. Thank you for that one comment, Luke, that you always send on my streams about your team. Luke comes on, he gives one comment, and then he disappears. But yeah, it's all good, Luke, man. It's all good. Enjoy the game, yeah. It's a bit away, but you got your tickets, All right, let's go back to the Premier League, guys. Like I said, City are top on 18 points from 7. Arsenal a point behind. Then come Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Palace, and United to make up the top 10. Yeah, Spurs, of course, in second. Arsenal have lost their last 12 Premier League games against Manchester City, scoring just 5 times and conceding 33. Ouch. We've lost our last 12 Premier League games against Man City, guys, scoring just 5 times and conceding 33. Wow. You said Jorginho at the back with the bozo, Gene. I thought you meant Gabriel. I don't know what I'd be saying half the time, to be honest. There's a stat for you guys. We've lost the last 12 against Man City. We've scored 5 and we've conceded 33. Yeah, man. That's how you do it. Yeah, that's actually a real stat, guys. Yeah, so get your teeth around that. All right, guys. Right, there we go, guys. This is the link. If anybody wants to come on my channel, please do. I'd appreciate it. This is the link for you here, guys. All right. This is the link for the stream, okay? Anyone who wants to come on, please do. Yeah, we've lost our last 12 games against Man City, scoring 5 and conceding 33. So I think that says it all, to be honest. Don't think I need to add any more to that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game for us, regardless if it's at the Emirates or not. It's going to be a very hard game for us against Manchester City. It's going to be a real tough one. Hopefully, we can get something out of the game, but we need to err on the side of caution against City. They're a difficult team at the best of times to play against. They haven't been doing too well recently, but they're going to come to the Emirates with a point to prove. They'll be looking to set down a marker or lay down a marker to the other teams that they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to be wary of. It's not going to be an easy one. All right. Should Man City beat Arsenal, it would be the joint longest Premier League winning run for a team against an opponent, equaling Man United against Wigan and City themselves against West Brom. Arsenal haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 16 Premier League games against Man City since a 2-0 away win in January 2015. It's their longest run without a league shutout against an opponent since a run of 30 against Man United. Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League games, 1-6 drawn 2, with no side currently on a longer such run coming into this weekend games. However, they've kept just 4 clean sheets in their last 28 home league games, with 63% of their goals conceded since the start of last season coming at the Emirates Stadium. Having won their first 6 Premier League games this season, Man City lost 2-1 at Wolves last time out. They won their first 6. Yeah, that's right. They've not lost consecutive league games in almost 5 years. Oh, God. Yeah, Sunday's going to be not for the faint-hearted, guys. Trust me. City won 6 in a row before they lost to Wolves. Oh, my God. Oof. Yeah, we're in for a real battle, yeah. We're in for a real battle. Sunday's going to be interesting, to say the least. That is awful. That is terrible. Yeah, it is, man. We haven't beaten them in 12. We've lost to them in 12 league games, and we've scored 5 and conceded 33. How long would you give Arteta, Dave? Well, before the season, I said I would give him this season and next season. I would give him 2 seasons. This season and next season. But I don't know, guys. I mean, we're never going to win the league under Arteta. I think that's fair to say. It's just not going to happen. McManus, if he doesn't qualify out of the Champions League group, I want him gone straight away. I can't see us getting out of the group. I mean, we had a bad result against Lens, but our next match is away to Sevilla. And they are an even better team. And away from home. Yeah, I just think the quality, the levels is too much right now. I don't think we're going to do anything really of note, to be honest. I just can't see it happening. Wait till we see what happens on Sunday. That's going to tell a lot, guys, what happens on Sunday. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't think we're going to qualify out of the group stage, though. I can't see it. I'll be honest, I just can't see it. And if we do, we're going to get dealt with in the next round. Unfortunately, yeah. I really need to start asking more people to come on my streams before it starts. Bukayo Saka injury update. Arsenal forward in contention to face Man City. Bukayo Saka injury update. Arsenal forward in contention to face Man City. Bukayo Saka went off injured in the 34th minute of Arsenal's 2-1 Champions League defeat against Lens. It's not going to be easy for us. Arteta will do a Craig David. I'm walking away. Gooner forever. Yeah, that comment deserves to be up there for a while though. Arteta will do a Craig David. I'm walking away. One of these days I need to do an all-day monster stream. But it should be a weekend, yeah, like a Saturday. It's a pity. I wouldn't risk Saka. Not only could he make himself worse, he'd be targeted by City. Yeah, exactly. He's in contention to face Premier League champions Man City on Sunday. The forward went off with a muscle injury in the first half of Tuesday's 2-1 win. Tuesday's 2-1 defeat, against Lens. He's only 22, Saka, and he's played in each of our last 87 league games. What? He's played in each of our last 87 league games, a club record streak in the Premier League. He is in contention. We'll see how he progresses from here to Sunday, Arteta said. Obviously, he had to leave the pitch against RC Lens. That's never good news. But let's see how he recovers. The women's game is on at the moment, guys. It's Arsenal 1, United 1. Are Arsenal in a better position to beat Man City? No would be the answer to that. Dave, I can see the Cronkies bringing in Per Mertesacker as our next manager. Jack Wiltshire as his assistant when Arteta leaves. Surely we're not going to be subjected to that kind of thing. I mean, I hope and I pray not. Thanks anyway for supporting my channel as always, guys. It's the two amigos. Thanks for supporting my channel, guys, and dropping the comments. I appreciate it. Luke Chapman in with a second comment. I can't believe it. Thanks a lot for the second comment, Luke. Clarence the Dragon. Clarence is the club's matchday mascot, Northampton Town. All right, this is the Arsenal mascot. Gonosaurus. All right. He likes watching the streams from time to time, but mostly he finds my streams boring. But that's cool. At least he's honest. Gonosaurus. All right, keep the comments coming, guys. The reason why I say this is because it will be cheaper for option for them. That's it, nice and cheap. Yeah, they tend to care a lot about the money. They tend to care a lot about the money. They don't tend to care about anything else but the money. That's all they seem to want, which is disappointing, Disappointing from a fan's point of view. A fan that cares about the team, wants to see the team do well. That kind of behavior from the crowds. I know you mean it as a joke, but there is a bit of truth to it. There is a bit of truth to that. There is a bit of truth in that. You know what I mean? Can't say much more about it than that. Yeah, but Per Mertesacker, Jack Wilshere, if they came in, guys, we need a real manager to come in now. See the weather for tomorrow in London, guys, 24 degrees. Whoa. It's going to be a hot one. I better be ready for that when I'm in work. I better be on it. Yeah, Friday night is a quiet one after the all YouTube, in fairness. Are Arsenal in a better position to beat Man City? I don't think so, no. Are Gunners in a better position to beat Man City and win the Premier League title? A little more than a week ago, the Premier League title was being seen by many as a one-horse race. Champions Man City had looked imperious once more with 6 wins out of 6, leading former Blackburn Rovers striker Chris Sutton to tell BBC Radio 5 Live, let's be honest, we are all expecting Man City to run away with the title again. He was not the only one thinking this way, but what a difference a week makes. Defeating the Carabao Cup by Newcastle and a first loss in the league to Wolverhampton Wanderers. has left Pep Guardiola's men looking a little vulnerable. And while treble winners City are still topping the table and most people's favourites for a fourth consecutive title, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham have made a start to the season. It's not going to be a formality. Before City's visit to Emirates Stadium on Sunday, former Man United defender Gary Neville has predicted Arsenal will win the title. So I have the Gunners, who blew an 8-point lead in the first. So I have the Gunners, who blew an 8-point lead late in the season. They finished 5 points behind in second place last time round. Moved closer to Guardiola's class of 23-24. It's going to be an interesting one on Sunday, that's for sure. People, you better hold on to your hats, guys. Alright, I think I need to bulk up my ideas with my my YouTube channel. Maybe I'll do another preview of the game tomorrow before I go to work. But that would be at around 11 to 1, something like that. We'll see what happens. If I can drag myself out of the bed. If anybody wants to jump on to the stream anyway, guys, there you go. Here is the link for the stream. Okay, anybody who wants to jump on and talk football, be my guest. Just 1 second, guys. I'm just going to go to the bathroom and then I'll be back. There we go. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. Arsenal scored 88 Premier League goals last season, only behind City's 94. But their goals were spread out with midfielder Odegaard and winger Martinelli top scoring with 15 league goals each. Saka 14 and Jesus 11 also hit double figures. City had a more reliable goal source in Erling Haaland, who hit a Premier League record 36. But Phil Foden with 11 and Julian Alvarez with 9 were far behind. This season, Arsenal have 15 Premier League goals to City's 17. But Brighton, Villa and Newcastle have scored more than either team. Would Arsenal be better with an Alvarez, a Haaland? Of course, it's Sutton. Did they make progress last season? Absolutely. Did they make good signings this summer? Of course. But our signings like Rice, Havertz, Timber and Ray are going to get them to the top of Man City? I don't think so. I do think goal scoring is a problem for Arsenal. I like Nketiah, but is he a world-class striker? No, he's not. Yeah, that's our problem, guys. We have a problem in the forwards. We need to get someone who's going to bang in the goals. It's not going to be easy for us, to say the least. At the moment, guys, the Arsenal women's team are in action, guys. They're playing against Manchester United, and it's 1-1. Yeah, they're away against Man United. It's 1-1. We opened the scoring through Blacksteenis in the 14th minute, and Galton has equalised for United. A big mistake from Arsenal goalkeeper D'Angelo. Let United in. Yeah, it's a pity. Man U won, Arsenal won, yeah. Ex-Arsenal striker Rachel Yankee on D'Angelo's error. Mistakes can happen, but she's in the wrong position. The goalkeeper has to make contact with that. 1-1 at half time, guys. Interestingly poised. Hopefully Arsenal can beat them. Hopefully we can beat the United ladies. Get some kind of a win against them. Put them back a little bit. But it is what it is. Arteta, Saka and Partey in contention to face Man City. Oh, we guess he'll get found out though. Regardless. Arsenal manager Arteta reflects on the Community Shield win over Man City and what they must do in order to take the 3 points on Sunday. Ouch. Mikel Arteta says Bukayo Saka is in contention for Arsenal's clash with Manchester City on Super Sunday, despite limping off with an injury in their Champions League defeat to Lens. Saka left the field holding his leg in the 34th minute of Tuesday's Group B game, with Arteta saying afterwards that he had suffered a muscular problem and that it was a worry. But the 22-year-old was named in Gareth Southgate's England squad on Thursday, and speaking at his press conference on Friday, Arteta said he is in the frame to feature against City in a game live on Sky Sports. He is in contention, he said. Let's see how he progresses from here to Sunday. Obviously, he had to leave the pitch, and that's never good news. But let's see how he recovers. Pressed for more detail, Arteta repeated, in contention, that's it. I'm not a doctor. That's what they told me. Asked about Saka's England call-up and whether he would ask for the forwards, Arteta said, I've spoken to Gareth Southgate on several occasions. I have to do my job by giving the news and position that everyone is at. We have good communication. He needs to make the best decision for the national team, and I'm not going to get involved there. Arteta also revealed Thomas Partey will be available to face City, having made a quicker than expected recovery from a groin injury. The Ghanaian midfielder, who was not featured since August, was an unused substitute in the 2-1 loss to Lens, and Arteta confirmed he will be included in the squad to face Pep Guardiola's side. He's ahead of schedule for sure, he said. We couldn't play him on Tuesday because he had a lot of necessities. He will be in the squad against Man City. Community Shield win gives us belief. Arsenal beat Man City on penalties in the Community Shield. I don't know, guys. It may give us belief, but it's going to be a tough game. No doubt. That is going to be a very, very hard game, man. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up this stream, guys. I want to thank everybody for your continued support, all your comments. I want to thank Gunnar forever, as always. Thank you for all your comments. Luke Chapman, McManus, as always, man. Big up yourself. Thanks to Monty for coming on the stream. I appreciate it. Made a big difference, huh? And yeah, thank you to everybody for your continued support, guys. Smash the like in this video for me if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel, Old School Gunner. And make sure you click on the notifications bell that you get notified every time I upload content. Take it easy, guys. See you next time. Come on, you Gooners. Peace.